Dads Worldwide. The first word in family management, family budgeting, insurance, bills, food, vacations, research and development, homework, emails, phone calls. Last week we tried to do an oil change and ended up with a new car. Security. Doors are locked, windows shut, house alarm is set. Fingerless gloves. Dads Worldwide. Loyal listeners, possibly you.
Welcome to another episode of Dads Worldwide. We will make you laugh, might make you cry, will certainly somehow, some way try to make you a better parent. I am your most exhausted host, Brendan. Tony, take it away.
It is I, the 17-time Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast champion, non-gel filtered, quadruple distilled, your blendmaster, tongue twistered and all, blendmaster of ceremonies himself, also an international sex kitten, your Captain Aviator, Tony fucking G. I almost biffed it, but you know, I saved it.
He is the host of the Pop Culture Podcast.
No, I'm not.
No, not you. The other guy. He's back with us. Hello, Chris.
And I think among the three of us, I'm probably the only one that did not have a completely exhausting work week. So if necessary, I'm here to carry the show.
You might have to, because I might fall asleep.
Yeah, well, I mean, I fully expect you guys to rise to the occasion as you always do. I'm just saying, as a plan B, I'm here.
Well, I've done 3 weeks.
I've been called worse things than Plan B.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I'm saying I'm the plan B.
Oh.
No, you're Plan A. Because when I think about you, I'm thinking like there's no sex involved at all.
Wow. Completely unnecessary shot right off the top of the show.
Hey, Brendan said he's slacking today. He's tired. I'm like, I'm going to have to bring the sarcasm and snarkiness out the gate.
Mission accomplished.
It's the only thing that popped in my head is how can I make a Plan B joke? And it was rather
all in Plan B. They were going to abort him. You know that.
That is Plan A. That's what the A stands for.
Oh.
I mean, if I need to go watch the Olympics, I'll do it. But if not,
if we're that boring for you, I guess.
No, I'm just saying if you're going to abort me off the show, I'll go watch the Olympics.
No. I'm not going.
Yeah, I wouldn't put you through that.
I'm glad to be here. Is all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I've been
bowling on tonight.
Geez. What's that? Bowling on?
Curling? Yeah.
Bowling, hockey. I don't know.
Yeah. What are they even doing right now?
I can't think of anything I'd rather not watch than the Olympics.
I know it's not my thing.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I love the Winter Olympics. Really?
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care about Summer Olympics. I don't care about Winter Olympics.
No.
Yeah.
I guess if I had to pick one, I'd pick the winter because there's more chance for injuries.
Yeah. I don't know.
Go USA.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess I'll carry the Olympic torch for the sake of the show. I'll do that too.
Definitely gonna have to. Yeah.
Now ask me for some Olympic updates.
No.
Please do.
Because actually, ironically, I've watched very little of the Olympics.
I caught about 30 seconds of curling last Saturday. So
yeah, I actually can't give you any updates. Although my friend Adam, formerly of This Week Today, I guess he's still on This Week Today. We're just not doing new episodes. He texted me and said, which is something, Tony, you can relate to because you've got a lot of shows you're not doing.
That's true.
But he texted me today and said, hey, did you know that there's a new ice skating controversy? I was like, what? I didn't. Fill me in.
Nancy Kerrigan back at it.
But apparently
2 male partners for couples.
I don't know, but apparently there's some sort of scandal going on.
Has to be.
I don't remember what he said. It was something about, let's see.
The only thing I've seen so far is that skier who took it in the nuts.
Yeah.
That's all.
So my friend Adam said, I was like, fill me in. And he said, France cheated the U.S. out of gold with some biased judging, despite their team making 2 critical errors where the U.S. made none. So
fucking pea soup eaters.
Yeah. So look out for that controversy. There's your dad's
Well,
worldwide Olympic update.
My blood is boiling over this.
Tell me about it.
Well,
I don't think I'll sleep tonight.
I will. I've been working. I've been working like the last 3 weeks. Has been 6 days a week, like 12 to 14-hour days. I'm like, I'm shot, and I'm pretty sure I got a fever right now. So, and my right foot just blew up tonight. So I don't know what's going on. So
nice.
Yeah, I'm having a blast.
I, on the other hand, had the day off.
Rub it in.
Honestly, by shirt.
Yeah, it wasn't like I didn't want the day off. I just got the day off because we're not crazy busy right now. Like I could have worked, but everybody's like, nobody else had anything going on job sites, so everybody was going to be off, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'm off too. Then that's great. What I wanted to do.
Unpaid day.
Yeah. So yay!
They just gave it to you paid.
No pay. 40-hour week is not great. Yeah. Yay! Day off. So instead, I cleaned at home, picked up stuff, did some laundry. When the boys got off from school, we went to the football field, and we're doing this weekly because I'm trying to get their speeds up. So we do a 40, a 20, and a 10-yard dash, and I'm trying to improve their times on that. But I'm also pushing Striker. I actually sent some videos, so we've got some content right out the gate here.
Okay, hold on.
I'm trying to teach Striker to work on his kickoffs because they're going to need a new kickoff specialist on the varsity tackle youth team since the last one was in 6th grade and is moving up. So I'm like, you might as well throw your hat in the ring because I'm betting it's not going to be a very deep pool of people wanting that job. So might as well get after it. But he's doing pretty well. I mean, from kicking off we started doing it from the 30 and he was landing on the other side of the 50. So he was doing good last week, but let's try it from the 40 because I think that's where you're kicking it anyway. And pretty much the same. So he's pretty good for his age. The middle one would be first.
Okay.
Yeah, they sent in awkward order, but we're also working on field goals because why not? Might as well start now. He'll be in high school soon enough, I suppose. So we last week we were doing 10 and 11 yarders, and then tonight we every time he makes them, and he can make them a couple of times, we move a yard back.
Yep.
So we're increasing in distance every week is the goal till he can hit a 90-yarder, obviously.
Meanwhile, at my house, I put up a second Nerf hoop so we could have a full court inside.
That is pretty badass.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
You're done.
This was the second one he nailed today.
All right.
This is the 13-yarder.
We have like 3 feet of snow.
That sucks.
Nice.
Not bad. Not bad.
80 degrees here today.
Yeah, it was like really nice here. It was like almost 70 at one point. So yeah, he had a 12, a 13, and a 14. So he's doing pretty good for being 10.
Wait. I clicked on the middle one. Why did it bring up 15-year-old? God. Okay, well.
Brennan is technologically
I clicked the middle video like you said, and it brought up the other one. I don't know.
Did it? Nice.
Yeah, it's not my fault. I'm not.
I wasn't gonna blame you, but I mean, now that you mention it,
yeah,
it's fine.
So Brendan, you've got 3 feet of snow. This is I can't see now, but
72.
That's the weather at my house right now.
What, 3 feet of snow?
Yeah,
no,
you do suck.
Oh,
if I go outside, that's the weather right now, even with the sun down. Talking
about grass and all that.
Yeah, we got plenty of grass here right now. It's nice. See, right there in the field. Yeah, here's his 12-yarder.
He's
actually like that was the first kick he made today. Like he just dumped it. Then he hit then he was like, oh, now I don't know what to do.
Your son's a left-footed kicker?
Yeah, he's a lefty.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's weird. He's a lefty, and so is Jarek, which is strange because the other twin, Taven, is not a lefty. So yeah, I
you know, only 10% of people in the United States are left-handed.
Well, I could have had 3. Taven's almost ambidextrous. It's weird. Yeah, and this is the last one he made. My uncle actually pulled up in the parking lot. He saw we were on Snapchat. We were making these. He pulled up in the parking lot on his way home, and like this was right when he pulled up. You can hear him like, "Go Seabass!" Raiders fan. Boom.
Damn. Nice.
Not bad. I was pretty impressed. He could hit a 14.
Yeah, that's great.
Work on his sync so he doesn't get the stutter step. It'll be great. It'll be fun.
Well, he forgot his cleats too, so we're just working off regular sneakers today. So that was not when we were working on kickoffs, his shoe kept flying. I was trying to record it and I'd be like, oh no, that was a shoe. Shit. The ball's over there.
Nice.
Next week's episode, I want to bring video of me dunking on an 8-foot goal.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But
well, I brought up kickers because I figured that'd be a good segue for apparently the title of the episode tonight.
The not so Super Bowl.
The not so Super Bowl. It's an understatement. I feel. might be the worst Super Bowl in history.
Well,
at least in recent memory, for sure.
Unless you're a Seahawks fan, and then
could you even enjoy it if you're a Seahawks fan, other than the victory?
Like, if you're a Seahawks fan, you're like, yeah, I get that SOP. Like, yeah, you're having a great time because you're winning the Super Bowl. Yeah,
I guess, but man, it was ugly.
It was ugly.
Other than the fact that I would love for the Patriots to have won for Brennan's sake, I actually enjoyed the game.
Yep.
You're like one of there's less people who enjoyed that game than there are left-handed people. So that's statistics.
I know. Everybody's saying how much they hated the game, but I was like, yeah, it's a Super Bowl. I'm kind of enjoying it.
What was there to enjoy?
I mean, I didn't enjoy the Patriots losing, but I mean, it was a defensive battle for the most part, and those games tend to be boring. So like that, when there's not a lot of offense like that just, I mean, those games are just not.
That's what sucks about a defensive battle, though, is because usually when that happens, one team's offense shows up enough and the other team's offense does not show up at all. Yeah. And eventually the team that offense does not show up at all, that's the defense that peters out, and then they just get steamrolled. And that's pretty much what happened. Now, I will say, since we did do a impromptu Super Bowl halftime coverage show here on Dad's Worldwide, I did want to mention, like, I was still saying it even then. I felt like they could make the comeback in the second half late, and I really felt like it was going to happen. And I thought it was going to be the play where Drake May threw that pick like right over the top.
Yep.
Like, if that doesn't happen, I felt it on that drive. I really felt like it was going to change gears, and then that pick, I'm like, oh, well, that was it.
Yep, that's gone. Peace out.
It's over.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Patriots offensive line did great most of the season, but I don't know what happened to them this game. I guess the defense for the Seahawks is just too good, so they're pushing them around, and that's what it took. So you don't give Drake May enough time, and of course they had a spy on him. So if he starts running, he made a few good runs, but
he did. He just looked rattled the whole night.
Oh yeah. I mean, when you're not able to get a rhythm together, and and he was throwing the ball not well. I mean, he had a couple open receivers and he missed them. I mean, whole cloth, he just missed them. So
they didn't miss all receivers. Well, I guess those.
No, I'm not saying
safeties are cornerbacks for the other team.
He had a couple wide open receivers, and he just didn't make a good throw. So, would that have changed the whole game? Yeah, probably not. I mean, obviously, but
really,
I think I think maybe. I mean, how many times did he throw the ball? I mean, it wasn't. I mean,
Drake May was responsible for 2 fumbles and an interception, so he alone was responsible for 3 turnovers.
Yeah.
He even when he had time, like you just said, he played horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think it's completely unfair to say that Drake May is the reason they lost that game. I mean, I think
I didn't say that.
His performance was so far below average that if you would have had average quarterback play, you would have been at least in that game.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's the whole reason, but
no, I'm saying that.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm saying he's the biggest reason that the Patriots lost that game.
Yeah. I mean, and the wide receivers couldn't get open, and when they
dropped some too. So even when he hit his receiver,
I know. So like,
they didn't do him any favors.
And you can't blame the defense because they were on the field a ton, and they were playing lights out until I don't know, halfway through the third quarter. They must have been just
oh yeah, you're gassed at that point.
Yeah, so they're just, I mean, they were on the field the majority of the time, and then when he threw that pick, you see the defense go like, "Oh my god!" And they put their head in their hands, and so yeah, I mean,
at that point, I'm like, "Hey, you want to give the backup defense some reps because this is fucking over."
Well, I mean, also, you can blame May, but he also didn't have any time, right? Like, and why is that? Well, our front line wasn't stopping the left side at all. I mean, Will Campbell was getting thrown into Drake May. One guy got a sack while he was being blocked. So,
I
mean, like,
that was an ugly look. Like,
it was so bad.
Even when things are going right, they're going wrong.
Yeah, he grabbed him by the collar and yanked him down while the other guy was trying to block the guy. So yeah, it was just I mean, so yeah, it's a lot his fault maybe, but the front line's got to give him time, and they largely didn't. So,
but I think if you had a better quarterback with the same amount of time, I think you would have gotten a better result.
Yeah, maybe.
I just think he had a bad game. I think it
he did. Definitely, obviously.
I just think it turned out that the Super Bowl this year was way too big for him.
Yeah,
that's what seemed like.
That's what it boils down to, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it definitely is, and so I think it's unfortunate because I think he's a talented quarterback. I think he's probably going to have a decent season next year. I think he's probably going to have a decent career overall. It's a good organization with a good coach. Hopefully those two rookies on the left side are going to have some experience, and they're going to build on that. I mean, they, like you said, they didn't help him at all. But I just think if you had an average quarterback, I mean, certainly if you had a Super Bowl caliber quarterback, I think you would have been in that game, if not maybe even have won it.
Also, it didn't seem like they adjusted to the blitz. I mean, Seattle was bringing heat like almost every other play, and can't.
And they weren't even disguising it. Like,
you can't make a 5 steps back and expect to have time after that. They're coming at you, So
and they were blitzing with 4 too most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how do you working? Stop? Why stop?
Well, and the one comment that I made during our halftime discussion was that Drake May should run more.
Mm-hmm.
And I still stand by that, because if nothing else is working and you don't have a lot of time, and the couple times that he did run in the second half were good plays. They were first down plays. And so I just think that you didn't. I'll just repeat what I said. I think you had to give the defense. Seattle's defense is so good that you had to give them something else to consider.
Yeah.
And by running, I think you're either going to get results, or you're going to start to get results from other parts of your offense, because they're going to have to account for him. And he just didn't run that much that game, but when he did, it worked. They were big plays.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he didn't just, and especially if you're already kind of falling behind, you got nothing to lose. So just get after it. Just get out there, just run. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, the thing you like Chris, you're saying like, oh, if you had had a better quarterback, he's the quarterback that got him there. That's the thing though. And they don't have a better option than him, and he's who got them there. So for better or worse, he had a bad game. And unfortunately that bad game was the biggest game there is. And it was just, I think ultimately it was the pressure. I really do. Because like you said, I think he's got a great team around him and a great staff, putting him where he needs to be. I think they're going to be fantastic next year. I really do. I don't know that they'll It's too early to make a prediction that, oh yeah, they're going to be right back in the Super Bowl next year, but there's no reason they won't be in the playoff. If I'm looking at that team
so
right
a couple
now.
of comments on that. I think Drake May is a good quarterback. I think the Patriots have their quarterback, but excelling in the regular season, especially with their schedule this year, is much easier than playing on the biggest stage in the NFL. So I think he's a really good quarterback with not a lot of experience that discovered that his first trip to the Super Bowl was just too big for him. I think that's what we saw. It doesn't mean he's a bad quarterback. It doesn't mean if he shows up in the play, he can't make another run in the playoffs. It's just that when you go from a regular season to the biggest stage, that's a test that not very many people can pass with only 2 years experience in the NFL.
Sure.
There is one thing that I'm concerned about, at least for next season, because they had one of the easiest schedules both in the regular season and the postseason. They caught some breaks. Like, for example, they played Jarrett Stidham for the Broncos instead of Bo Nix. This upcoming season, they're going to have to play a Super Bowl schedule. They're going to have to play a second place schedule.
Yeah.
And so it's going to, I'm not saying they can't do it, especially if they make some personnel moves and you got guys with more experience. And they did go to the Super Bowl. So that experience is helpful. But they're going to have to navigate a second place schedule instead of the schedule they just had. Now, so I don't think that they're going to win 14 games. Could they win 10 games and still make the playoffs? Absolutely. But they're going to have a harder schedule, which means, and the Bills mathematically should have a slightly easier schedule. Yeah. And so they're going to have to contend with the Bills for the division lead. They're not just going to be able to walk away with the division lead this upcoming season like they did this past season. I think it's going to be much, much harder. So they need to win enough games to secure a wild card spot, because I don't know that they can win that division again this upcoming season, just because of strength of schedule. Now going forward, I think they can go head to head with the Bills and until the Bills window closes, and then they might, carry the torch from there, and they might be the perennial winner of that division going forward. But this upcoming
everything you just said, I was thinking about the Bears, because they're going to have a brutal schedule in 2026, and it's going to be, I don't know that they can win the division. Hell, they couldn't beat the Lions, and they still managed to win the division. So,
and they're still in one of the hardest divisions in football.
Yeah, and I think the Lions are going to end up. I think they're going to have a much easier path to the division this time. It's going to be really hard. I don't expect a repeat division title, but I do think they can do enough to secure a wild card. So that's I think that's complete. I think that's completely in the realm of possibility for both the Bears and the Patriots.
I do too.
And I don't know. Is the Seahawks defense going to be this fucking good next year? We know the Rams aren't probably going to be as good next year. The Broncos might bounce back, I would assume, since they'll be healthy again. Like, I don't know. It's way too early to tell.
Well, as far as I've heard, the Seahawks are not going to have to renew a bunch of contracts. Most of those guys should be coming back.
That's scary, because Bears got to play them fuckers. Ugh.
Yeah, well, but as it relates to, I think everything you said about the Patriots and the Bears, as they continue to kind of have a parallel path, I agree with it. I don't think either team is going to win their division, although they can. But listen, if you get in the show, you're in the show. So you make the postseason, anything can happen. So you don't have to have a division winner's schedule. It doesn't matter. If you're a good team, you got to play who's on your schedule. It's four games to the Super Bowl, and you've got just as good of a shot as anybody. So I don't think it matters if you're in the wild card round or you're a division winner. You're in the show, right?
That's true.
And both those teams are currently and going to be talented enough to make a run no matter how they get in the playoffs.
Well, and the nice thing is we already know it's going to be the Dolphins and the Bears in the Super Bowl. Did you see the coloring for next year's logo? So pretty sweet that it's going to be, the Bears and the Dolphins. One of my twins will be pretty stoked about that. Jarek's a Dolphins fan for some reason.
It's scripted.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was the most painful thing in the world, because I was trying so hard not to get rage baited into yelling at him during our halftime stream. Like, guy who doesn't like or watch NFL has the strongest opinions about the legitimacy of the outcomes of NFL. I'm like, oh fuck, man.
Boring that, and then he came on the live stream and started doing that shit. I'm just
oh god, it's very painful. Like man, this is the softest hot take I've ever heard. Oh my gosh. Guy who doesn't watch football says might be scripted, refs might be doing things that aren't quite on the up and up. You're saying what most people think every fucking Sunday. What a hot take you've got there, guy. Oh, just
Vegas might influence the outcome of sporting events.
What?
Well, is that? I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw on Facebook that one of the lead ref got suspended or something.
Oh,
Really?
I don't know if it's true. I didn't even look into it honestly.
That's
so
the first time hearing of that.
I might be, fake news. So check it out. I don't know. It was on one of those videos. Probably it's an AI video, but the one where they out of bounds, they hit Stephon Diggs, and then it started a scuffle, and and then the defender actually took a swing at Stephon Diggs, and there was no call. I mean, he was hit out of bounds, and there was no call.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah.
It was pretty egregious, no call, but
yeah,
100%.
really.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
that was
like
one of the worst non-calls all season.
Yeah, it was
really bad.
It's absurd. And then a couple of the catches from Seattle, I was like, someone throw the red flag for the love of God. I was like, what a catch. I was like, was someone paying attention in this Patriots booth? And they would just run up and hike the ball. I'm like, oh, there we go. Okay.
Too late.
Yep.
When you're efficient, you're efficient. I mean,
yeah,
well,
they were on top of it.
I almost sent this message to you, Brendan, in the chat.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's hard to watch your team lose the Super Bowl, especially in that manner. However, you got to watch your team in the Super Bowl.
Like I gotta say, out of all the Super Bowls that I've watched with my team in there, which are a lot, so I do consider myself lucky. I'm not trying to.
That's the other thing. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of Patriots Super Bowls, so out of all the losses that I've seen, that one hurt the least. Because I didn't truly expect them to even make it to the game. Never mind.
Right.
I knew
compete.
Yeah, it was a long shot for them to win. We all know that.
Right.
I think we were hoping, kind of like, hey, if they have like I said, if the defense has a really great game and the offense could, put something together, then I think they'll do all right. And well, the offense couldn't put anything together and the defense did the best they could. So I'm really looking forward to next season. If we can keep the majority of our defense, then then all we really have to work on is the offense. So because the defense, I mean, they were lights out at the Super Bowl. So I'm really happy with that. But yeah, out of all the Super Bowls I watched, I was happy to watch it. I was, my kids were, able to watch one, and it not being the Chiefs or, so it was good. So,
well, for the people that are watching this episode, there's two people on this screen that should have tremendous hope and optimism about the future of their NFL franchise. And then one person that should definitely not have any hope. And I'll just confirm he does not. So both of you boys have very bright futures for you and your teams. I don't have that.
I think it's time to think about changing your loyalty.
I can't do that. I can't. My rooting rules for myself that I don't impose on other people is that you have to root for the team you inherit. It's like family. For better or for worse, that's your team. And I've lived in Dallas for 47 years. Sorry, Chris, this is your team.
Houston's not that far away.
I can't do it. I can't. that violates the rules I impose on myself.
Oh man.
Like I've been to Chicago once in my entire life. So like I'm not tied to that city. But I love the Bears. However, if they move to Iowa, like Iowa's throwing this Hail Mary, and if that happens, I don't know if I can do it.
Look who's a new Dolphins fan.
I might have to, because I just I can't cheer for Iowa, even in that form. I don't know if I don't think I can do it.
Well,
now it'd be really easy for me to go to Bears games all of a sudden, but I don't think I'd want to.
Then you'd have to go to Iowa.
Yeah, it'd have to be in Iowa, and that's just horrible.
But you're in a position because one of my best friends grew up in Oklahoma at the same time when Walter Payton was playing for the Bears. And so he became a Bears fan mainly because of Walter Payton, but also he lived in Oklahoma. So who's he going to root for? You're kind of in the same boat. You're in a part of the country where you get to choose. So,
right.
There you go.
Yeah, it helps. It's nice. I didn't become a Chiefs fan, thankfully, because it would have been painful for a long time too. But now they're on they were on a run. That could return next year. I think we'll.
Maybe.
We'll
I don't
see.
think so.
We'll see.
But
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I'm not going to write him off. Not at all.
I'm not writing him off.
He's too good. Patrick Mahomes is too good.
I agree, but in a very premature pick, I will just tell you I'm not picking the Chiefs to win their division next year. I'll be picking a non-Chiefs team to win that division.
So Chris is picking the Raiders. I'll jot that down.
Thank you. Make sure you get that down. That's RAI.
I know how to spell Raiders.
If I put $50 on them right now to win the Super Bowl,
that would be a waste of $50.
Yeah,
that would be almost as big a waste as Fernando Mendoza's pro career when the Raiders select him first in the draft. So
yeah, he's done playing competitive football.
Yeah,
I don't even
football
know
on a competitive level.
Yeah, that's how long it's been. I don't even remember that guy. All right,
well, it's gonna be the Browns, obviously. I mean, did you see Shedeur in the Pro Bowl? Like, for God's sake, like you might as well just lock the division and the Super Bowl up now. It's gonna be the Browns. For God's sake.
Well, I mean, they're paying 5 different quarterbacks. You'd think one of them would be able to perform.
Would pan out.
Well, between Shedeur
that's
and
been the story for how many years?
Between Shedeur Sanders in the Pro Bowl and then Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick not being first ballot Hall of Famers, does the NFL have any credibility left at all?
Not really.
Like as a league?
No. I mean, we've still got Roger Goodell and Bad Bunny in a dress during a halftime show. So I mean, what the fuck?
I didn't see it, but I heard he did not wear a dress.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, that's disappointing.
I don't know.
We were promised a dress.
That's one of those things I ignore completely because every year it's a halftime like, oh my God, I can't believe they invited that person. It's just like, it's always just fake. It's fake anger and it's fake. It's all fake. Can't stand
last year was what? Kendrick Lamar rapping incomprehensibly. I mean, he was like, he was speaking.
I don't even
English.
know who this guy is. I'm watching it and I'm just like, I don't know who this guy is. Like, and I'm like, usually like you watch it and you're like, okay, like I'll recognize the song. Nope. Not one song. I have no idea who Kendrick Miller is. I still have no idea who Kendrick Miller is.
Lamar. Well, it's Kendrick Lamar.
So. Oh, my bad. Don't care at all. Yep.
Well, I didn't watch this year's. I did watch the Kendrick Lamar last year, and I'm guessing I understood about as much of Kendrick Lamar's rapping in English as I would have Bad Bunny's rapping in Spanish. So
yeah, pretty much.
Well, and apparently he used his halftime performance to play out, or to continue his beef with Drake, another person I could care less about. Like, okay,
who
whatever.
Who did that?
Whatever.
Bad Bunny?
No, Kendrick Lamar last year. There's a beef. Yeah. I'll just catch you up because I know this much. Yeah. There's a beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
Oh.
And apparently he's got lyrics and they put out songs where they take shots at each other. Yeah. And the halftime show is a continuation of the beef between the two of them.
Oh,
and to your point, Brendan, it's probably fake. They're probably buddies. I mean, the whole East Coast West Coast rap thing was all a fabrication back in the day.
I don't know if Tupac would agree, but yeah,
collateral damage,
But I'm with you.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just saying.
I would rather see rapper beef amongst each other than Bad Bunny's beef with Ice.
Yeah.
So I guess I'd rather see some like, oh, somebody might actually get hurt here beef rather than I'm gonna rap in Spanish and make this about politics because that's what the NFL needs.
Well, I think to me, and I'm assuming you guys will agree, it falls into the category of don't care about your opinion. I don't care. I don't want to hear your opinion, and I don't care about your opinion. So don't bring it to one of the largest stages, in American pop culture. Not interested. Just shut up. I don't care.
Speaking of that, did you see that anti-Semitic commercial?
Which one?
The one that was Stop Jewish Hate or something like that.
Oh God.
Oh yeah. With
Oh yeah. There's a I don't know. There's a kid walking down the hallway, and there was a bunch of flashes of like, I don't know, some bullshit statistics, and then some Jewish kid is walking down a hallway, and of course, some pure white kid bumps into him and makes fun of him, and he goes to his locker, and a black kid comes in and goes, "I know how you're feeling right now."
What?
Yeah, and they shut the locker, and then it's like Stop Jewish Hate or some bullshit like that. So, yeah, fucking ridiculous.
Wow.
It was it was so stupid.
So we live in a world where Bad Bunny raps in Spanish during the halftime of the Super Bowl. It was not a competitive game, and the Super Bowl winning quarterback had to pay fees to the state that he played in because
he actually lost money.
Lost money.
A lot of it.
Yeah. Sam Darnold is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and his bonus was negative.
That's right. But the good news is, gentlemen, as a result of that commercial, there is no more Jewish hate. So it
Thank
worked.
God.
Worth every penny. It's over. It's over.
These are the sins that Charlie Kirk died for.
All right. We have.
I assume that was a Turning Point USA commercial, right?
No more time for Banner fellows. You know what that means?
What?
Yes, I do know what that means.
We're 37 minutes in.
No more time.
Oh,
hit myself.
You heard the man.
Hey, what's up, Nazis? It's your favorite Zahn. Yeah, listen, losers. I was listening to your last show, and oh my God, that Leslie
cackle
here is so wonderful. I can't wait to hear him, her, they, them, ornamental castle once again. I can't wait. All right. Later, losers. Thing.
Was that Zahn?
That was one. Yeah.
Her writing skills have clearly improved.
That's the most articulate I've ever heard her.
Yeah, like honestly, she almost sounded happy there, and I don't think that's a emotion she knows anything about. So
he's about to get happy. Here we go. Voicemail number 2.
Oh, we got 2.
This is Leslie Manbeard, and this is the first time checking in with Dads Worldwide. So let me be clear about my pronouns. I'm a he, her, she, them, they, us, Weezer. And don't forget it. I am appalled that it took this long for you to finally release my latest voicemail. Months in the making. So much has happened since then. I have been in Minneapolis at the Leering Center, and I have been protesting ICE for weeks. I am afraid for my life, and I am strapped to the gills with AR-15s. You should all be in jail. Literally shaking right now. My question is, when is Brendan going to admit that he is a fascist racist?
Well, I'll let you answer the question, Brendan. But did she did Leslie say Weezer?
Yeah, I think Weezer did. Yeah.
Look, you can't question pronouns. All right.
I'm not questioning it. I just want to make sure I heard it correctly.
Okay. Don't offend Weezer. So how about it, Brandon? When are you going to admit you're a racist fascist?
I will never admit to it. Maybe tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, that was a little easier than I thought it'd be.
Yeah.
Also, do we need to credit Leslie with the drawdown by ICE in Minneapolis?
Well, I mean, one can only assume that Leslie's been on the front lines, masking and protesting, and no, I got nothing.
Mission accomplished, I guess I would say.
So
yeah,
Leslie needs to hang a mission accomplished banner.
for sure. I mean, it's over. The fight's over. Bad Bunny played the Super Bowl, so and Jewish hate's been stopped.
That's it.
So,
It's been a big week.
Yeah,
it's been a crazy week.
Maybe Leslie will wait on that Super Bowl. Be great.
Yeah. Well, we've kind of stayed somewhat non-political in the last couple of weeks, so
yeah, we've done a great job.
So everyone my wife's probably stopped listening already because we're talking about football, so she had to hear, and then she's going to hear politics, and she's going to bail too. Right. So
before you go on, can I ask a question, Brendan?
Sure.
Is there? Well, I don't know if this is a question so much as maybe a suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
We're always talking about how we're running your wife off in the middle of the show, or really sometimes right off the top of the show.
Yeah.
What would we have to talk about if we were going to gear an episode towards your wife rather than trying to run her off? Like, what would that look like?
Ooh, well, that's a good question. I'll have to ask her.
All right. I would consider it. I would do a Jamie themed episode if we had to.
Yeah.
I'm not above pandering, is what I'm saying.
Right. No, that's fair. And I too am in favor of pandering.
Okay, there we go.
As long as it, appeals internationally. Why are you cackling, Chris? I feel like
that was directed towards myself.
It was worldwide.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a good point.
Jeez.
All right.
So I just between the Epstein rollout and Epstein document rollout and the attacks on Thomas Massie, I feel like just the last 2 weeks have been utter chaos. And then the looming possible strike on Iran, which may be happening, but may not be happening, but may be happening, but not happening.
Maybe it already happened.
Maybe it already happened. We don't even know.
Could be a secret.
I find it interesting that it's not interesting. It's really just, it's ridiculous that they're attacking Thomas Massie for doing what they all actually ran on, which was the release of the Epstein files.
Right.
And then him not being a reliable Republican vote. Yet he votes for Republican with the Republicans like 91% of the time, I think was the percentage. So,
well, that's clearly not enough.
It's definitely not enough if you're not.
He's leaving 9% on the table, Brendan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rookie numbers.
Yeah. So I don't know what you guys think about it. I find it incredible. I don't know if you saw the Pam Bondi exchanges. Those were all over social media. She looked like she was having a Hillary Benghazi moment where she was just like, look at the Dow.
Yeah.
It's over 50,000. And her voice was so shrill. All I could think about was Hillary when she was like, what does it even matter? What does it matter? I was like, oh my God, this woman is, and she was obviously deflecting. 100% of the time. So yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those questionable picks by Trump, because it was pretty questionable leading in, and then you thought, okay, there's no way Bondi's going to be a part of this, and then lo and behold, here she is. And
well, she was his second pick.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there you go.
He tried to get Matt Gaetz confirmed, and that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. So
I wonder who didn't like him. I wonder. Miriam Adel.
Yeah. A lot of people. Yep. So she became the ultimate ass kiss who could not be more appreciative of her job. She strokes Trump's ego just right and is more than happy to take all the flack that's come her way to be where she's at. So but this was so embarrassing for her. It should have been if it wasn't, because like you said, it was not a strong showing. I've seen people try to spin it.
She made Democrats look good, and that's how bad.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. And that's not easy to do. That is
they were just grandstanding, but I mean, I don't think they obviously didn't care about this when Joe Biden was in office. This was not it wasn't a thing that they really cared about, but because Trump is in office now, it's something they give a shit about.
Of course.
So I just find I mean, she made them look good. Like she made them look like they had common sense, like the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And I don't know what
happened
to do. I don't know what happened to Jim Jordan. He was great on COVID stuff, and now he's just, I don't know, he's meh. He's just meh. So
well, she I saw somebody try to spin it that they what did they do? They put up all the computers or the tablets for everybody to like look and browse the files, and then they somehow recorded the searches that everybody was making to really see who was searching for themselves or specific names. But I don't think there's any truth to that I'm aware of, but she could not have come out of this any worse. I'm getting knocks at the door. Sorry. Yep. Chris, your thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't see any long form testimony from her. I just saw clips, and I mean the clips, she didn't come off that bad, but all the accounts that I've heard of the long form clips, she was exactly the way you described. She's terrible in those situations. That woman should never be in front of a camera or a microphone. You know, maybe she's more competent behind the scenes in her day-to-day work, but I'm not very impressed with her. The difficult thing is that, you know, other than Mike, what's his name, no one else has gotten bounced out of Trump's cabinet. But man, the way she's conducted herself in her job, she's making a really strong case for her to be number 2 to get bounced. The only
she strokes his ego too much. There's no way.
I mean, she's a
lapdog.
She's a yes man. She just does what told to do, and that's quite obvious. And she was told to not really answer anybody's questions, and that's what she went in there, and that's what she did. She didn't answer anybody's questions. She just went in there and deflected like a champ, and like she didn't even do it well, but she didn't answer the questions, and if that was the goal, then that's what she did.
I guess my other thought about it, the whole thing, is that I don't think that those hearings, I don't know when this started. When did it start? When these hearings were really just grandstanding and creating TikTok clips. Like when did they stop conducting actual legitimate hearings where they weren't just yelling at each other and cutting each other off and talking over each other and not actually asking and answering legitimate questions? Like, when did that stop?
Did they ever do that?
Well, I mean,
for sure. I mean, when I grew up, if there was a congressional hearing, it was a congressional hearing, and it wasn't just, you know, both sides just yelling at each other, and then whoever the person was on the committee saying, "I'm going to reclaim my time," and then they move on to the next person. Like the whole. I don't have any more patience for any of this anymore. I don't even really care, and I don't know if we're going to get to it or not. And then I'll give it back to you, Brendan. But I did see clips of Josh Hawley, you know, grilling Keith Ellison, the AG for Minnesota. And generally I don't have any big problems with Josh Hawley. He's fine. But I think Keith Ellison is a piece of garbage, and he's probably incredibly corrupt, and he should probably go to jail just like the rest of these people. But I found myself taking his side in the exchange because Josh Hawley would ask him a question, and it was a good probing question. I was like, good question, Josh Hawley. And then Keith Ellison would he would say like 1.5 syllables to actually answer directly the question that he asked. And then Josh Hawley would jump on top of him and keep yelling at him. I'm like, you're asking good questions, and he's actually willing to answer your questions.
Yeah.
What's happening here?
That doesn't make a million views on YouTube Shorts.
That's my point. That's exactly my point. When did this start? It's so ridiculous. Don't have these hearings anymore. Just move to closed door hearings. Just go to closed door hearings, because if these clowns think that they're not going to get attention, it's not going to end up on social media, they might actually conduct a legitimate hearing.
Well, I mean, I think normally, yes, I'd agree with you, except for the whole Epstein thing. Like, she got caught red-handed, not turning over. Well, she got caught redacting stuff that shouldn't have been redacted, handing over files that shouldn't have been redacted. and then unredacting them when she got called on it. I mean, in the law that Massey and Ro Khanna got passed, I should say, she can be actually charged if she doesn't do something according to the law. So the next AG could charge her with a crime if she doesn't do what she's supposed to do. So, I mean, it's not nothing if it actually would happen, which I don't really listen. I know how government is. They don't hold anyone responsible for anything. So I don't have much faith in that, but I don't know. Like I don't know. Again, and I don't really watch hearings anyway, so I don't care, but there's some good sound bites that come out of them. So I mean, they're at least amusing.
But if it's just being reduced to political theater and grandstanding, what is the point? Why are they doing it? I don't care anymore.
I don't think it'd be anything different behind closed doors without cameras.
I think it would be. I disagree, because I think if they're not getting the attention and they have to just go about their business without a bunch of eyeballs and clicks and hits and whatever, I think it might look different.
Yeah, maybe.
They're doing it for the attention. They're like a bunch of teenage girls, the whole lot of them. What the heck are they doing?
You think her? I mean, even
TikToks.
Even that though, like, do you think her answers would have been different? I mean, maybe some of the questions would have been different, but I'm not sure any of the answers would have been different. She just would have deflected the entire time.
Well, she just keeps calling him the most transparent president in history, while simultaneously that not being true.
Yeah. He had to get forced to do it. So,
well, yeah, and like you said, like, this didn't happen under Joe Biden. I mean,
or Obama,
or first Trump,
Bush.
Or the first Trump.
The first Trump, yes, exactly.
Right.
Like, this was not a priority. This was not an issue, even though it very much could have been the thing.
But they ran on that.
Gone all in on this and said, day one, instead of saying day one, I'm going to broker peace between Ukraine and Israel. Let's not do that day one. Day one, I'll release the motherfucking files. You'd want to talk about the landslide? The fucking Reagan win would have looked like nothing compared to what Trump could have had that happen. But no, of course he didn't, because of course he knew he was mentioned in this shit. Now, we don't know yet to what extent, because we still haven't seen the complete and unedited files, but the more and more details that are coming out on this, I'm like triple quadrupling down on my stance of I don't give a fuck anymore. Release all of it. Uncensored. I don't care. Yes, it's terrible about the victims. Yes, I feel horrible for the victims, but no more victims need to be made. And this is bullshit, and this is horrible, and this is awful. And her saying this is the most transparent, while it took almost a full year to get the release of the files in his second term, with a bullshit stint of Biden in between that. And now we get him, and they're heavily redacted. And she's got to stand there and look like a fucking idiot while answering questions to the Democrats, who have not sounded sane in a decade. Are you kidding me? This should be the easiest thing in the world.
They're so transparent that they unredacted the victims' names. So good job.
Fuck.
Good job.
So a couple of thoughts there, Tony. I don't think that there's anything in any of the Epstein files that implicate Trump, honestly, because otherwise, why wouldn't they have done it during Biden's term? Because they literally did.
Why didn't they do it during his first term then?
I know, but they could have done anything. They did everything they could possibly think of to keep him from getting reelected. Why would they not have exposed him if he was in the Epstein files? And the other thing is,
for the same reason that they couldn't get Kamala a better endorsement, because a lot of the people that were donating to her campaign or Joe Biden's before that were very much a part of the files. So they couldn't do that, because they would have risked all of their campaign funding. So no, that wasn't a possibility.
Yeah, I just don't expect Trump to get implicated if they fully release the files. The other thing is my opinion is that I'm kind of with you. Just burn it all down and release everything. But I would still redact victims' names. I think if you're going to do anything, but that's going to be, 5% of the information. So I don't mind protecting victims.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't either.
I'm pretty sure victims weren't the ones sending all these emails to Jeffrey Epstein, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, and they unredacted in that last bunch of stuff that they let out, they actually unredacted victims' names. So all the people that they're claiming that they're trying to protect, they didn't do it. And then in that hearing, they basically there were victims or quote unquote survivors that were there, and they were like, "Hey, have you guys reached out to the FBI? Yes. Have anybody heard from the FBI or talked to the FBI?" Since you reached out, and the answer was no. So like they're not doing anything, and the most transparent administration ever just doesn't obviously doesn't ring true. And I don't care if he's implicated or not. That's not the point. The point is that someone's protecting pedophiles, and it's wrong. And you know, if you're gonna be even just human, you should care about this, and you should want to burn it all down. You should want these people in jail and hung by their balls at minimum. So like I don't this shouldn't be a political issue. This shouldn't be a left-right thing. This should be is like, hey, we have really shitty people in our midst and we need to get rid of them. Like we need to put them in jail or whatever, but they need to go away. People like that shouldn't be in society.
Well, now, but she was quoted as saying, well, what did she say? Something about if we prosecuted everybody or released all the names. What was the quote? It could topple the government. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, how many
and at that point, like, how do you not take a moment of just reflection or enlightenment if you're one of these people that argues about this stuff online on social media? So how do you Brendan, not watch that and go, oh my gosh, maybe we should not be calling each other pedophiles for supporting Biden, Harris, or Donald Trump. Maybe they're all terrible fucking people. But of course, we can't just have that moment of clarity.
No.
So Brendan, are you the one that said you can't listen to Mike Benz? He found it impossible to listen to?
Mike Benz?
I think I was chicken.
No. Okay. I've listened to Mike Benz.
Did you hear the Mike Benz interview on Joe Rogan?
I listened to about half of it.
I mean, you really have to get through the whole thing. Yeah. Because in the second half, he really, I think there's a lot of stuff in the second half that was helpful to hear.
Yeah.
The one thing that he said, and I think this was kind of in the last maybe 15 or 20 minutes of it, that I was not aware of, that really opened my eyes about all of this. He made some comment to the effect of, he said, if you draw a pie chart of all the scandalous things around Jeffrey Epstein, then the human trafficking or the pedophilia, that's the first thing that everyone brings up, right? When you say Jeffrey Epstein, oh yeah, the pedophile. He said that represents about 5 or 10% of the pie.
Yep.
And then what he explains that my summary of the takeaway from the Mike Benz conversation was that was a new label that I'll put on Jeffrey Epstein. I consider him a sinister Forrest Gump. What I mean by that is that Jeffrey Epstein has literally been everywhere, connected to everything since the late 1970s. So for the better part of 50 years, he's been in and around all of the scandals, not just in the United States, but he was an intelligence asset for half a dozen different intelligence. He was basically an asset for the entire intelligence community. And I can't explain it nearly as well as Mike Benz does, because I'm just trying to summarize or explain what I heard him describe. But the point is that to me, after hearing that interview, is that their resistance to not releasing the files, it sounds like has little or nothing to do with human trafficking or a bunch of important people having sex with underage girls. It really has to do with that's not good. Obviously, that wouldn't be good to be revealed, but that's such a tiny piece that it really has to do with everything else. And so again, go listen to Mike Benz on Joe Rogan. He'll explain it to it much better than I can. But that's really the issue here is that Jeffrey Epstein was so intertwined into so many things for the last 50, like think of all these sinister things that the United States government and other governments have been involved in. Jeffrey Epstein was in the middle of all of it because he was a master networker. So if you needed drugs run or gun, weapons deal or whatever, Jeffrey Epstein was your guy.
Well, it looked like he had an entire tanker truck size vat of like sulfuric acid as one of the purchases made on one of these emails. Like this is
that's what I'm saying.
It's so it runs so deep and so disgusting and so
and for so
evil
long.
and dark and for so long.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like simultaneously, while we're getting these redacted files with not protecting names of victims, but protecting probably the perpetrators, we're also now out of nowhere, for some reason, now getting this alleged call to the cops and the FBI from Trump, of all people, telling them, well, I'm glad you're going after Ghislaine because, you know, she's an evil person. You've got to stop that in the kids and stuff. So, yeah, good. Where was this a year ago? If this existed a year ago, why was that not the first thing released?
That's right.
The timing is so bad. Like, I understand if you're trying to slow play it. Like, that's one thing. I tried to wrap my head around this. If you're the Trump administration, you lost in 2020, nefariously or not, doesn't matter. It's over. The Biden presidency is done and over with. He's back in office. Now you have to release them. You can't not release the Epstein files. You have to do it.
That's right.
But before we got there, we tried to pretend like they didn't exist for no reason other than to troll everybody, not just leftists, but your own voting base at that point. And then when we finally got them almost a year later, heavily redacted, and what the redactions that we're pissed about are the evil motherfuckers that are probably guilty of all these horrible things. But like, if something like Trump saying, tipping people off about certain people or commending them for investigating or looking into people of interest in those files, the higher ups, why was he sitting on that? Hell, if that's something you've got access to or you knew about because, hell, you're the one that made the call, you should have campaigned on that.
Right.
So, again, I'm trying to wrap my head around this. Is he just trying to slow play the Democrats into demanding the release of something that they ultimately won't want released? Is that what we got? No, because now that we got it released, it sure doesn't feel that way. And sure, there could be a lot to come yet, but it doesn't look promising, and it just looks more and more disgusting. I don't know. I'm just kind of over all of it. I want everybody to hang, and I'm ready for, let the whole thing collapse, because whether you're involved a lot or a little doesn't matter. If you're involved even a little and it wasn't in a good way to stop it, hey, drain the swamp.
But what does involved mean when you say that? What do you mean by that?
So when I say involved, I don't mean like, oh, hey, I was friends with him, and then when I found out, I bailed. It means I knew about it and I did nothing about it, or I knew about it and I partook. That's what I mean by involved.
But you're talking about the human trafficking aspect of it, right?
Well, the human trafficking or worse, whatever. I mean, whatever details we want to glean from it that we have absolute privy information of. The human trafficking being the big thing.
But that's my point is, believe it or not, it's not the big thing.
Well, we don't know, like, because it's the human trafficking, just an entertainment portion of it. Because
yes, that's what I learned from the Mike.
That's the thing that is the most discussed. Like, that's the thing everybody focuses on, because it's the first thing that pops in everybody's head. We're kind of trying to think of it that way, but that wasn't even the thing. Like, it's about like control. It's about power. It's about influence. It's about greed and money and all that. The human trafficking was just for shits and giggles of these people.
Well, the human trafficking was, well, let's. I'm going to stop using the phrase human trafficking. What I'm going to say is, and again, go listen to the Mike Benz interview. He'll do it much better than I can. But Jeffrey Epstein would put on these big parties, right? It doesn't really matter whether the girls were underage or overage, whatever. He'd put on these big parties, and there would be girls there, obviously. And then he would bring in all these emissaries and people that either he wanted to network with or people that needed his help. And he would ingratiate people and expand his network and strengthen his relationships through these parties, because he was the guy that would put on these amazing parties, and everybody wanted to go to Jeffrey's parties.
Yeah.
That's really, the age of the girls is kind of neither here. That wasn't really the emphasis. It wasn't come to the island or come into one of these parties so that you can have sex with underage girls. I think I'm not minimizing it, but what I'm saying is you're not you, but the general public is putting too much focus on that as the center of the Jeffrey Epstein scandals.
Right.
The parties just existed because that allowed him to strengthen his relationships in his network to get things done. Right. It was just his way of entertaining people. Let's just say that all the girls were over 18, whatever. The point I'm trying to make is that they're overemphasizing that. It's that the parties were a small part of the greater thing or things that he was involved in for a period of 5 decades. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you peel back the onion and you get a better understanding of all the things that, again, what I'm calling is the sinister Forrest Gump, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he was involved in all these things. And he was the center point of all this stuff since the late 1970s. Yes. Like the sinister underbelly of the CIA and the US federal government and the rest of the intelligence community around the world. Jeffrey Epstein was at the center of all of it.
Yeah.
He's one of the most remarkable, and I mean that in a bad way, notorious, whatever word you want to put on it, figures in modern U.S. history. That's what I'm getting
for sure.
At. So the fact that he threw some parties where there may or may not have been underage girls, and that's a very serious thing. And I'm telling you, that's a tiny, tiny part of what he's responsible for. That's what I'm getting at. As serious as that was, how dark and twisted and disgusting of a thing that is, that's a small part of it. That's the point that I'm trying to make.
And it just kind of
they're missing the mark when they're saying, yeah, let's expose all these people that had sex with underage girls because of Jeffrey Epstein.
Right.
Great, fine, go do all that. But what you really want to blow the lid off of is everything else. And that's why there's a resistance to it. But to cover one more thing I wanted to mention, the one thing that I would have liked to have seen in that hearing is I wanted them to, because a lot of times you'll see them blow up these big poster boards with quotes or whatever on it, literally, whatever board. I wanted them to blow up in front of Pam Bondi one of those emails and just point at the other person on the other end of the email from Jeffrey Epstein and say, Madam Attorney General, what is the reason why this person's name is being redacted? We know they're not a victim, because we can see the content of the email.
Yes.
And it's an email between this person and Jeffrey Epstein. What is the reason that you've redacted this person's name? Why?
Yes.
Why is that piece of information redacted? Victims
Absolutely.
I get. Why are we not exposing this person and everyone else that was in an email about some disgusting thing with Jeffrey Epstein? Why are those names and those people not exposed in this document release? No one asked that question. And that's a question that I want asked and I want it answered.
No, and that's the theatrics of it.
Correct. Because when that doesn't occur, then you can say, well, then there's no point to any of this. There's no point to any of this, because what the general public wants is for that very stuff to be exposed. That's what we're asking. When we say release all the documents about the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, that's what we mean. What we want is people. We know they did a bunch of disgusting things, and that's the crazy thing is, like, these emails reveal or start at least peel back a little bit, start to expose the behavior that we should be outraged about. But then we're saying, yes, we know that they all did some incredibly dark, disgusting, sinister things. That's the part we know. You're not telling us the part we don't know that we want to know, which is, other than Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, the only two people that you're willing to throw to the wolves, we already know them. We want everyone else. We want names is what we want.
Yeah, absolutely. It's easy for everybody who wants to release the files to get hung up on the trafficking portion of it, but it's also super easy for everyone who's supposedly working at releasing them to also cover it up and hide behind the trafficking portion of it, because that's the easiest thing in the world to make everybody focus on. And I think you're really onto something here with we're too focused on one aspect, and it's the magician's secret. It's sleight of hand.
Yes. Yes.
When
Exactly.
we work towards making people focus on the really, really gross thing that we're all kind of in agreement is really, really gross, they're not looking at the very obvious thing, and that's that it's a position that I've held for at least 20 years, and that's that the people you think are in charge are not in charge, and you're seeing that. Well, we're not seeing it, but we're being shielded from it being as much as revealed as possible for the first time truly on display. And that's people like Jeffrey Epstein, who are not elected officials wielding tremendous amounts of power.
That's right.
Behind the scenes. And this is the strongest case for you call it the Illuminati or the New World Order or what have you. Doesn't matter. But we're seeing it. Powerful, influential people, not from Hollywood, not from the government, not from the military, just somebody who has incredible power and wealth doing things to shape the development of how things happen. And that's tremendously terrifying to have that curtain pulled back and come to the realization that when we say your vote doesn't count, it's not because it gets lost in the shuffle or you're one of so many. It's because we fear this. We fear exactly this, that who we're voting for and who we're championing or demonizing as the best or worst politicians when they're all terrible is that it's not even the ones we know about making the decisions. They're not even elected officials. And that's horrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and here's something else that I thought while I was listening to that Mike Benz interview. I thought, well, I mean, who cares about Jeffrey Epstein? Because he had to have been one of many, many connected people that were kind of making all this underbelly stuff work. But then I thought, as I listened to most of the interview, I was like, no. He was a little bit singular. He was more connected and more involved for a longer period of time than probably anybody that was doing that.
Probably.
So then my follow-up question was, because when was Jeffrey Epstein killed, or when did he kill himself? What year was that?
Oh God, what
year was that?
Is it 21?
I don't even remember. Anyway, whatever.
Let me Google. When did Epstein not kill himself?
When did Jeffrey Epstein die?
Oh no, that was 2019. That was before COVID.
Okay, so 2019. So he's been out of the picture
for a while,
for 7 years, 6.5 years now. So the question is, and you would have to assume confidently that all of this seedy underbelly activity continued past, still going on.
Sure.
Who is the new Jeffrey Epstein?
Obviously Donald Trump.
There has to be another. Well, I mean, I'm asking a serious question, right?
No, and that's the thing.
So whether
we
he killed
can't pick from a
himself
list of politicians because it's not going to be somebody on that list.
That's my point. But I mean, this stuff is continuing, and Epstein either was killed or killed himself. He's been eliminated, but that position had to be filled. So who is the new Jeffrey Epstein? No, I've never heard anybody ask that either. Who's been functioning as the new Jeffrey Epstein for the last 7 years?
Well, what role is it that he was filling? That's the thing. Like if we're gonna just go on the assumption that we're talking about Jeffrey Epstein was a specific player in a shadow government type situation, like was he one of was he a part of a council, or was he a singular entity in this arrangement? Because that we don't know, and we're probably never going to know, and that's the thing. Like, because I'm assuming at this point, if that's the case, if he was a major player in shadow government, he wasn't high enough up that he could protect himself from being unalived.
Well, I agree with you, but he was playing a very important and central role in a lot of things. So he had to have been replaced by somebody. Somebody stepped into those shoes. Maybe not in the exact same way, but in a similar way. And I don't know when he got that sweetheart deal, when he got pinched. Was it like 2008 or something? So the heat has kind of been on him what, at least since then. So let's just say it's been 15 or 20 years. So did they begin to kind of install someone to play a similar role at that point? Or,
Right.
And that maybe that paved the way for them to eliminate him. They're like, okay, we've got someone that's kind of filling that function now. You understand what I'm getting at?
Yeah, for sure. It's
They
not like
they replaced him and then eliminated him.
yeah, it's the you cut off the head and three more spawn from where that one was, right? Well, these types of organizations behind the scenes, shadow government and all that, they can't exist without very strict, very by the book, fail safe plans. Like they cannot operate without insanely strict guidelines. And what happens if one of our members fails or perishes, or we take them out, or we surpass them? Like what happens? This isn't like, oh my gosh, emergency meeting. We got to fill old Jeff's shoes now. No, absolutely not. Somebody was probably already handpicked, and it's probably like that down the line on who slides into that role. Because these types of things take incredible preparation, planning, and just organization that we probably can't even comprehend. And it could be as simple as council appointees, or it could be lineage based, or something else entirely. Maybe they even vote on it amongst their own secret society. We don't know these things,
right?
But we do know that these things exist. Like we basically have proof of that at this point, that influential, scary, powerful, evil people exist and are very well protected.
That's right.
We don't know how deep that hole goes, and we don't know the extent of the influence they have, and we don't know their fail safes when one of them is brought to the limelight. Like, because that's the thing. Jeffrey Epstein, if you think he's the only one, come on. Like, and we already know that like Hollywood's full of horrible people that were groomed to be exactly that, horrible people. That's the messed up part. Because most of the people that make it at a young age, they didn't go to Hollywood to become a horrible person. But they're not going to make it out a good person.
Yeah,
they just aren't.
I think all of that is a really good point. I agree with you. I guess a curiosity that I have then is I'd really love to know the behind the scenes of the things that led up to him getting exposed, convicted, and then unalived. Right?
Yes.
Because he's been around, he's been an operator since the late 1970s, and he lasted a solid 30 years.
Which would lead us to believe he's pretty fucking important in that
connected,
society,
etc. So what I'm saying, it's to me, I think it's helpful to think about it in the terms of organized crime, right? Where someone comes up through the family, they get to, they even get made, but that at some point something goes sideways and they get clipped.
Yeah.
They become expendable. So after 3 decades, what were the events or circumstances that led up to him getting exposed and clipped?
Right. Because really love at that point, the fail-safe to protect these people failed. And was it as simple as somebody gunning for his position, which I think is completely plausible? Is that why he was made? Well, you're asking somebody had to fill his shoes, or was it somebody wanted to fill his shoes, made him, and took his spot by revealing him to the public?
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, sometimes they eat their own. So I don't know. I just think that's an interesting question to ask, is what, because the only way that he gets fed to the wolves is because they want to.
Right.
They could have protected Jeffrey Epstein to the very end. Right.
Oh yeah.
He gets exposed because they wanted him to get exposed. So
absolutely.
what led to that?
At one point, yeah, for sure. When you become so ingrained in the society and you're so non-expendable, at some point you have to become the most expendable, because these types of organizations and committees can't exist with nothing but old blood. They have to continue to evolve, because if they don't, they fail and they die out. That's what makes it so successful. And it's terrifying, because these people get to these positions of power not through good means. Well, it takes the worst kind of person to climb this kind of ladder.
In light of this conversation, I think it's funny. I think it's humorous to think that average citizens can demand transparency and for these files to be released. It just seems kind of, when you think about it, you're like, yeah, now I feel kind of silly. Like, what?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why am I?
That's how I feel every time I argue about politics.
Yeah,
you're
right.
Every single time, because I can make any argument I want, and I can be totally on the right side of it or totally miss the point that the other side was trying to make. Because after I'm done, there's always a part of me that goes, why did I even bother arguing that when it does not matter, when people like Jeffrey Epstein and secret shadow governments exist?
Well, and I don't remember if it was on this show or if it was on the stream or even what topic we were talking about, but I made that point, which is this is fun to talk about, but what are we doing, right? Like, what?
Yeah.
I think as long as you say, oh, that was fun, we just had a 30-minute conversation about whatever, but I'm going to stop short of getting angry about it, because that just reflects that I kind of have a naivety about how it really works.
Right.
And then when you kind of understand it better, you're like, oh, okay, well now I feel really foolish by getting mad, because that's just on me. Like, it's not going to change. It's not going to improve. I'm not going to get what I want. I'm just an average idiot out in the world. So I need to stop. I need to just be satisfied with having the freedom and the enjoyment of discussing these ridiculous things, but then I'm not going to get angry about it.
Right? You can't.
There's no point in getting angry about it. It's not going to change. Like that. This is how our world works.
Well, that's the thing. If you go full Alex Jones on it, like, you get pissed off about it, and you do it passionately enough that enough people hear you and listen to you and enjoy it, you just put a big target on your own back. So
yeah,
congratulations.
You're right. Well, the other thing this makes me think of is I was listening to Ron Paul, of all people, being interviewed by Tucker Carlson, and Ron Paul's an amazing human being. The man turned 90 years old not too long ago. He's still sharp as a tack. Just of one of the most admirable humans to ever walk the earth. Just a sweet person and a good person, and took on one of the best causes you could possibly take on. And this was a man that spent many, many years in Congress. Like, he was elected into the federal government. And then you have other guys that are currently doing it, to a lesser degree, but you've got his son, Rand Paul, you've got Thomas Massie, and there might be one or two others. I guess for 5 minutes, you had Marjorie Taylor Greene, who seemed like she might be in that category, maybe in a weird way. But the point is that these people got much, much closer than any of us, and they still really couldn't do anything about it. Right? Yeah. Like, they were elected to be colleagues with these people, and they went in there with a genuine heart and tried to actually institute real change in the way that we discuss on here all the time. And they couldn't do a damn thing about it. They had a better platform, but they couldn't actually exact real change in a way that we would like to see it changed.
Sure.
So, like, what hope do we have?
They're only one person, right? Like, you need a voting block if you're going to do anything. I mean,
but you're never going to get a voting block.
Oh, especially not a libertarian one, for sure. I mean, Dr. Paul was probably one of the best politicians in my lifetime, and Thomas Massie, in my opinion, is a close second. He's turning out to be just like him. So, I mean, even more so than Rand, which is crazy to me. Like, I don't know why, but that's the way it's happening. But yeah, it blows me away that Thomas Massie could even do what he did with that Epstein law. But yeah, I mean, that's, Dr. Paul was in Congress for 20 years, and other than espouse, anti-war views and sound money and that type of thing, like, was he able to get anything done? Not really.
No.
But if you go back and look at all his speeches, I mean, he was a fortune teller. He could see what was going to happen, and he talked about it. And then 10 years later, all of a sudden it's happening, like he knew.
Well,
so
to that point, Brendan, you should have heard Tucker was making that point, is that it was basically a fortune teller. And then Tucker played a very specific clip example of that. And you're like, oh my goodness. Because in this one clip that he played was maybe a minute long at the most, maybe 2 minutes. I didn't look at it, but he made like 8 spot on predictions that we're all experiencing today.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that, because he's smart and he reads and he believes in a free market, and he understands the business cycle, and he understands like why government interventions in other people's business is a bad thing, and he understands blowback. And yeah, so like this guy is, yeah, he is amazing. But I mean, for a while there was a time, even before this Tucker interview, which was a good interview. I thought it was a nice interview. Dr. Paul, 90 years old and pretty much has all his faculties.
Still spitting fire.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, oh man, someone to aspire to be. Like, he's just a super nice guy, and just seems to be a wonderful grandfather that just cares about freedom and and being good person. But yeah, I mean, there was a while on like Facebook and Twitter, like there was like a bunch of memes where like Ron Paul was right. like it would be random stuff that would just pop up. I don't know who was doing it. It was a fad for, I don't know, a couple weeks, but yeah, it's true. I honestly think we missed the boat. I mean, I don't think anything would have changed if he were president. I don't think, because I don't think anything would have changed, because he doesn't have anyone that would have supported him. So, and the neocons would never have let that happen, for sure. At the time, they're deep up in it, and they're still deep up in it. So,
well, Ron Paul, by his own words that I got from this latest interview, was he was influenced by, 1, Austrian economics, and 2, his moral code was about as simple and straightforward and logical as it could possibly be. And he kept repeating it. He said, you don't lie, cheat, steal, or kill. That's it. Like, if you just lived up to those 4 things, if everybody just lived up to those 4 things, don't lie, cheat, steal, or kill, imagine what our society and our world would look like. And he's right. Like, it's not complicated. He's not going to talk over your head. He's not going to use big words. He's not going to, that's it. It's not that more complicated than that.
Yeah, don't hurt people and don't take their stuff. That's like the libertarian mantra. Like, just no violence against people.
Yeah. So I mean, you can use bigger words like non-interventionalists and these sorts of things, but you don't have to. It's just those 4 things.
But he wasn't even a non-interventionist. Like, he was just unless we get attacked, we don't intervene. Like, he's not saying that we don't ever go into people's business. No. If they attack us first, then we go there. But he's not a non-interventionist. That's just what neocons want you to believe, because they want to intervene in absolutely everybody's business, like everybody's. So that was just a thing that people would say, a slight against him. But I would rather be a non-interventionist than a neocon anyway. Like, I mean, so it's really not that much of a slight.
Well, I'm not using it anyway. I was just
No, I'm not saying you.
You don't have to use this multisyllabic word to understand his moral code. That's the only point I was making.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
He's about one of the most nicest, kindest human beings you could possibly encounter.
Yeah.
Like, he takes just as big a pride in the fact that he delivered 4,000 babies because he was the only doctor in his county than he does anything else he's done in his lifetime.
Yeah, that's awesome.
4,000. And like, he has people that come up to him on a pretty regular basis that are like 40, 50 years old that said, you delivered me.
Yeah. I think that's awesome that he has that much pride in his community, and that,
yes.
And I think, and Yeah, and then people that cared about him that much, they would walk up to him and be like, "Hey, Doc, hey, you remember me?" So yeah,
That's right. That's
Great.
right.
Great.
He's just a God. There aren't superlatives enough. He's just a very high quality human being.
Yep. Yeah, I've listened to a couple of his books. I listen to his podcast every now and then, and yeah, it's he does seem like just a genuinely good person. So
yes, Ron Paul's not hiding anything. He's exactly who you think he is.
For sure.
Except for the assholes that, for a brief period of time, labeled him an anti-Semite.
Oh yeah, anti-Semite and a racist, and like
right. Like if you spend, I don't know, 15 seconds talking to Ron Paul, you know that both of those things are ridiculous, and you should be ashamed for even saying them.
Well, there's not even like
luckily for him, we solved Jewish hate.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about that anymore. Just
need a Super Bowl
square out there.
Yeah, Ron Paul just needs a Super Bowl commercial. That's all.
But I mean, honestly, shame on the people that said any of those things towards him. I don't have words for that.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. All right, fellas. I'm ready.
Yes, you are.
For my exit here. I'm not feeling
Understood.
I'm not feeling good. So, Chris, where can people find you?
Here. This is still the best place. The website is still under construction. But good news, folks. I'm doing a recording session tomorrow morning with Justin, and we're going to rip out some really good content. So in the upcoming weeks, look for that. And I think I mentioned on the previous episode, I have 6 episodes in the book, in the bank, whatever, for Real Estate Raconteurs. The release of that is going to come out starting weekly in early April, going through the middle of May, and then we'll take the summer off to record some more, and we'll hopefully come back in the fall. But that project is coming in just a few weeks.
Excellent. Please tell Jermaine we said hi.
Josh will be glad to hear from you.
Tony, where can people find you, buddy?
We've got some good stuff happening and about to happen over at Dark Side of the Fringe. It is your one-stop shop for all things paranormal, cryptid, spooky, conspiracy, or just downright mysterious. Me and Dr. Chicken delve into the fringe on Dark Side of the Fringe. Check us out there. Of course, goodness. Oh, buckle in, baby. These two gentlemen right here, Brennan and Toph, have been stepping up and stepping in to the live streams happening over at the Big Buckin' Empire, the Dog and Chicken Show. And I hope here in about a week, we'll be doing another one. So it's episode 210. I'm sure it'll be all the happenings of the political and current events world. So be ready for that. If you're not subscribed already, Big Buckin' Empire, YouTube and Facebook. That's the Dog and Chicken Show live stream coming at you in about a week. So look for that. Make sure you get the notifications. But most importantly, and most consistently, and most convictionally and consensually, you can find me here.
Great.
Dads Worldwide.
and by the way, here's a little tease for the upcoming live stream. I'm going to take the gloves off.
Whoa.
I'm not going to tell you what that means. I'm not going to tell you what that means. I'm just saying these hands will not be covered in gloves.
Whoa. Shit. Bare knuckle.
Watch out, Phil.
Yeah.
All right, folks. You know how to get a hold of me, Brendan at dadsww.com. Can't stand me, can't stand Tony, can't stand Toph. Hate mail at dadsww.com. Don't forget to leave us a voicemail. Jump on the website, hit the button. You can do it anonymously. Just do it. Do it already. All right. We will make you laugh. We might make you cry, most certainly. Somehow, some way, try to make you a better parent. I am going to go lie down and shiver and try not to shit my pants.
Good.
Later.
Peace.